Coming up on LEX-18 News at 11.
5 big rigs and 6 cars got wrapped up in 3 bad wrecks on Interstate 75. And among the tangled wreckage, 2 dead teens. A man is arrested after storming into the Toyota plant with a gun.
Family and friends are inside remembering the man that was shot and killed. Sadly, it's not the first time they've been through this.
With coverage you can count on, this is LEX-18 News at 11.
All 3 accidents occurred at nearly simultaneously.
It was a mangled mess on I-75 in Whitley County tonight. All the lanes were shut down following a series of wrecks, including one that killed a brother and sister. We take you to the scene in tonight's LEX-18 Big Story at 11. Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thanks for joining us at 11. The wreck shut down traffic in both directions, sent 4 people to the hospital, and claimed the lives of 2 Whitley County teenagers.
All 3 crashes happened within moments of each other near mile marker 16 on I-75 in Whitley County. Kristen Pflum is live in the LEX-18 newsroom with the details.
Well, it happened within seconds. One crash near the Williamsburg exit caused another, then a third. When it was all over, 5 big rigs and 6 cars, including one carrying 2 members of a Southern Kentucky family, were wrecked. That's tonight's LEX-18 Big Story at 11. A new driver and wet roads made for a deadly combination along a busy stretch of Interstate 75. It began when 16-year-old Anthony Wyatt of Corbin lost control and crossed the median, slamming head-on into a tractor-trailer moving southbound. The impact sent the teenager's car into another big rig. Both came to rest between the north and southbound lanes.
On the southbound side, when this happened, traffic started to come to a stop. We had another accident on the southbound side involving 3 tractor-trailer trucks and a couple cars.
Almost simultaneously.
At the same time, on the northbound side in the right-hand lane, we had the same thing. People reacting to the accident, stopped, had another vehicle rear-end another vehicle here.
Killed in the accident were 16-year-old Anthony Wyatt and his 13-year-old sister Brittany. 3 others were taken to the hospital. The total count of vehicles involved, 5 big rigs and 6 personal vehicles. The mess tied up several different emergency agencies and meant hours of waiting or detours for thousands of drivers.
It complicates everything quite a bit.
Officers on the scene say the 2 teenagers were wearing seatbelts. Unfortunately, in a crash like this, seatbelts just aren't enough. Kevin, back to you.
Both sides of the interstate were reopened around 7:30, some 4.5 hours after those wrecks.
Wet roads may have been a factor in a head-on collision that sent 4 people to the hospital in Lexington. It happened around 9 o'clock on Richmond Road near Walton Avenue. Police say a minivan collided with a car. Officials tell LEX-18 some of the injuries were serious, but not considered life-threatening. A wild scene along US 60 earlier tonight when 10 horses got loose from a Woodford County farm. Police say a woman was driving along US 60 when one of the horses ran in front of her. That horse died at the scene. The driver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. All of the other horses were recovered.
Frightening moments at the Toyota plant in Georgetown today when a man walked into the cafeteria with a gun. Police aren't giving many details, but witnesses tell LEX-18 that an Aramark employee walked into the cafeteria around 4 o'clock, pulled out a gun, and got into an argument with his wife, who is also an Aramark employee. Witnesses also say he threatened to hurt himself, but police responded quickly and took him into custody.
They spent nearly 36 hours at his bedside, hoping that Jeremy Walters would survive being shot several times. But family and friends faced the miserable news earlier today when Walters died. Amanda Hara spoke with his brother. She joins us live with details.
Tonight, Jeremy's pregnant wife and young daughter begin their journey through life alone. Family and friends gathered at the 7th Street Baptist Church to remember good times they had with Jeremy, but it brought back vivid memories of the murder of his cousin just 3 years ago. It's a recurring nightmare this family just can't shake.
It's deja vu all over again. No less than 3 years ago, our cousin that we were very close with, we lost in another tragedy such as this one.
This time around, family and friends are here for Jeremy Walters. Police say Desmond Coates shot him after an apparent argument. A split-second decision that rocked this family yet again.
One small moment of ignorance can can set people back for years.
In 2003, when family member Brian Brown was murdered, there was no time to say goodbye. But with Jeremy, almost everyone had their chance.
We were given that opportunity to still feel his heartbeat in our hand, to feel his pulse, and to know that when we talk to him, his pulse rate would jump, and to know that he may not be able to say nothing back or comprehend with movement, but he surely hears you and he surely knows what you were saying.
Now the family finds itself going through the same motions again. The same horrific nightmare that seems all too familiar.
Tragedy is, for most people, a once in a lifetime. And for two in such a short period of time, for one family to endure, it's quite overwhelming.
The family has set up several funds to benefit Jeremy's pregnant wife and daughter. Those accounts are set up at Piedmont Bank in Lexington and First National Bank on Harrodsburg Road. Nancy, back to you.
The family tells us funeral arrangements are pending.
The man injured in an early morning shooting in Woodford County is out of the hospital, while another man sits in jail charged with attempted murder. Investigators say it all began when Jeffrey Parker and his girlfriend, Siobhan Blackfoot, had an argument at the Clifton Apartments in Versailles. Relatives say Blackfoot's cousin was shot when he tried to stop Parker from choking Blackfoot.
He was choking my niece, telling them that he's going to shoot them all, shoot them and kill them all. And Anthony jumped between them and told him that it wasn't necessary. And about that time,
Police say Parker took off in Blackfoot's SUV. They caught up with him in Frankfurt.
And now, Chief Meteorologist Bill Meck and LEX-18 Storm Tracker weather.
There is just no other way to put it that it has just been incredibly wet. We've got one more wave of rain to go through, and then we get a chance to dry out for a few days. Max Track Live Doppler. We look here at 11:06, and the area of heaviest rain is sitting just to the northwest of Lexington. For you folks in Shelby County, back over to Franklin County, Scott County, right along I-64 and to the north. It's been raining pretty hard for the last several hours. We look down a little further to the east, from Moorhead down to Sandy Hook, and a few light showers, and out toward West Liberty and Frenchburg, and finally another batch of showers sitting out by Lebanon. Those are all drifting off to the east. You can see the main batch of rain, the first one from earlier today, headed off into eastern Kentucky and beyond. We've got one more batch coming out of western Kentucky. That'll pass as we go through the night. Middle upper 50s at the moment. A little bit of rain off and on through the rest of tonight. 44 later on. The rain finally does get out of here, and we'll talk about your weekend in just a minute.
I hope it's better than the last couple of days.
Certainly couldn't be worse.
No. All right. Thanks, Phil.
An emergency landing at Louisville International Airport this afternoon has created travel headaches for hundreds of passengers. Other flights scheduled to land at the airport are being diverted because crews are still working to get the American Eagle flight off the runway. Flight 3980 was headed to Chicago when the crew reported engine problems. They turned back around to land but slid off the wet runway during the landing and got stuck in the mud. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Fire destroys a Franklin County bar.
Yeah, watch why the bar owner doesn't think it was an accident. Coming up.
And it's a must-win game between Tates Creek and Woodford County. Who's going to the playoffs and who's done for the season? Later in the LEX-18 High School Sports Zone.
At your Dodge dealer, it's all about the best in American and German engineering and design. And now, during the 2006 model year-end clearance, get 0% financing for 60 months on 2006 Grand Caravan with stow-and-go seating and storage and a 5-star government crash test rating. Or get 0 for 60 on Durango with the best interior room in its class. So hurry into your Dodge dealer today. Now, well-qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees get a low-mileage lease on a select 2006 Durango SLT for $189 a month.
We have to keep our obligation to our seniors.
That's what candidate Jeff Davis promised. But what about Congressman Davis? He's flip-flopped on Social Security privatization, which could cut benefits to seniors and add trillions to the national debt. Davis even voted to spend the Social Security surplus.
It's just unbelievable.
Guess I would characterize that as betraying the people.
Jeff Davis has really not kept his promise.
The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Toyota quality begins with the people who build them. Now, you can get a great deal on a new Corolla and get 41 miles to the gallon. Toyota, moving forward.
This portion of LEX 18 News is brought to you by Bluegrass Family Health. Now, LEX 18 Storm Tracker weather with MaxTrack Doppler and MaxTrack 3D, the most powerful, most accurate live Doppler in Kentucky.
Well, it has been wet. There are no two ways around that, and incredible amounts of water. We will show you just how much in a minute. On the MaxTrack Live Doppler, we were showing you a quick tour a little bit ago. The heaviest rain that's left on our map is still sitting to the northwest of Lexington. This is moving to the east. This is the actual upper level low, the final piece of the puzzle that's going to go by. So we have the chance for rain, especially across the northern half of the state as we go through the next several hours. The flood watch has been discontinued across the south. We still have one going up across the northern counties, but really the rainfall has not been quite as heavy up here to the north so far as in places like Jackson, where we've had better than 2 inches of rain. London just under 2. Monticello's had an inch. About 1.5 inches in Lexington and Frankfort. That is a lot of water, and it has put us in the record books. The record we're talking about is the September-October rainfall. The old record was 12 2/3 inches from 1979 over that 2-month period. Where we stand as of right now is 15.5. I mean, that is not even close. By the way, that's working with the wettest September on record, and with the rain we've had so far today, this makes it the 7th wettest October. To get 2 months like this in the fall is nothing short of phenomenal. Big picture. Watch this come together. We've got moisture down here to the south. You've got the energy coming in from the north, a jet stream roaring in right like that, and it's putting together what is a very powerful storm in the atmosphere. And now up here, this is a shot of cold air that's going to feed into this whole thing. We get a little piece of that cold air tomorrow, but nothing dramatic. I mean, it'll be a chilly day, but considering where we've been, not bad. Low pressure is gathering strength over Kentucky tonight. By tomorrow, it is headed off into Pennsylvania. It'll take the moisture along with it, and that sets up a pretty decent rest of the weekend. We're still pretty mild with temperatures running in the 50s, but later tonight we'll drop down into the mid-40s. We've had that lull in the rain for most of the evening, but we'll see one more batch come through later on tonight. A couple of showers around early tomorrow. That gets out of here. It'll be a windy day with some sun returning and a high of 52. That's cool, but by Sunday with sunshine, we're up around 60, upper 60s on Monday, and yeah, I do see the possibility of rain there on Halloween.
That's spooky.
Really?
Mornings after this.
This portion of LEX 18 News is brought to you by GlenAutomall.com, where you'll find it all.
As a mother of 2 sons who attended Fayette County Public Schools, Senator Alice Borgie Kerr knows our greatest assets are our children and makes education top priority. Senator Kerr helped fashion and pass the most progressive education budget in 16 years, including pay raises for teachers, additional instructional days, much-needed funds for math and reading intervention, and substantial and visionary support for UK. Vote for the state senator who puts the future of our children before politics. State Senator Alice Borgie Kerr.
The Lexus store of Lexington announces the arrival of the new 07s, the sleek new design of the ES350 with 272 horsepower, or the completely redesigned LS460 with an incredible 380 horsepower, and of course the favorites, the RX and GS350, both with increased power. The all-new 07 lineup is ready to run. So if you're chomping at the bit to drive a new Lexus, meet us in the winner's circle at the Lexus store of Lexington.
For too long, politics as usual has been holding us back. Lexington needs a fresh start. Jim Gray, a respected business leader dedicated to our community, a problem solver with a cooperative style. Jim Gray says it's time to bring our city together, to hold the line on our urban service boundary and find solutions to our traffic mess, respect our heritage, and protect our way of life. For Council at Large, Jim Gray, let's stop the fighting and start the progress.
When I decided to go back to college, I looked at lots of different schools to find the perfect fit. Some were so big, I felt like a number. And others were catering to a slightly younger crowd. But Strayer University fit just right. My personal admissions officer told me that the average Strayer student is 34 years old. They're busy working adults with families and full-time jobs, just like me. Call this number to speak to an admissions officer who will show you how Strayer University can fit your life.
I'm Jeff Davis, and I approve this message.
The Erpenbeck housing scandal. Families lost their homes and life savings. In an astonishing abuse of congressional power, Ken Lucas intervened for a criminal convicted of bank fraud. He wrote a letter to the judge asking for leniency. Ken Lucas used his office to help a criminal get a lighter sentence, but did nothing to help the victims who lost everything. Kentucky deserves better than Ken Lucas.
Fire destroyed a bar in Frankfort, and the owner says he thinks someone set it on purpose.
Firefighters were called to Jimmy's Bar on Holmes Street just after midnight. Investigators say the fire started in a storage room. Several people were in the bar at the time, but everyone made it out safely. The bar owner says the fire is suspicious because there's no electricity in the storage room, and his business was also burglarized earlier this week.
A drunk driving accident that claimed the life of a South Central Kentucky beauty queen has her family and friends fighting for stricter laws. Brittany Shope was killed in June of 2005 when the car in which she was riding crashed along a Pulaski County road. The driver, Ryan West, pled guilty to manslaughter. Now Shope's mother is taking her message to Frankfort, pushing for a vehicular homicide law. She was invited to speak during next month's Tie One On for Safety campaign at the Capitol.
Was a Bowling Green police officer speeding in a crash that killed a Western Kentucky University student? That's what Allison Carter's family wants to find out. The 20-year-old died in April when she drove into the path of David Hall's police cruiser. Carter's family has hired a former Kentucky State Police accident reconstruction specialist to investigate.
A wet night on the football field as Lafayette tried to stay undefeated.
How that game played out and much more high school football action next in the LEX 18 High School Sports Zone.
Tonight on Jay, Ashton Kutcher talks about the secret to a happy relationship.
Once we got married, and then we got guns, so.
And from The Office, Jenna Fisher. Then on Conan, Jennifer Aniston. And Tuesday, Conan's got an all-skeleton show for Halloween. And go to NBC.com to check out Conan's new Pale Force adventure.
Lexington, it's time for change. Jim Newberry, a leader in government, in business, in his church.
I'm Jim Newberry. We can do better. I'll bring people together to solve problems and better manage tax dollars. I'll fight to protect the quality of life with new ideas dealing with growth and traffic. And to move our economy forward, I'll focus on the 3 H's: horses, healthcare, and high tech. Folks, it's time for a change.
Newberry, Mayor.
The choice we have before us is, do we continue our trusted water service with Kentucky American Water, or do we turn it over to city government?
The LFUCG has other priorities that it really needs to concentrate on.
They've got enough problems right now with the sewer.
They have enough on their plate to deal with public safety, fire, and our streets and roads.
The city has enough problems on their hands today.
We should let Kentucky American continue to be our water provider.
It's a matter of priorities. Vote no on November 7th.
Cirque du Soleil is turning its music into motion. Don't miss Delirium.
This world keeps spinning around and around.
Discover an amazing new kind of show. Live Delirium, a Cirque du Soleil live music concert.
At Freedom Hall. Now 4 performances. Tickets for all shows on sale now. Visit CirqueDuSoleil.com. Produced by Live Nation.
Some council members spend more time fussing and fighting than figuring out what's best for our future. Steve Kay is the qualified candidate for council at large, a leader and mediator who knows how to get things done. Steve Kay is a man of vision with smart solutions to help our community grow stronger.
I'm Steve Kay. It's time for a change in our council. I'm ready to work for you. I'm asking for your vote on November 7th.
Vote Steve Kay.
For expert personal care at assisted living rates, choose Tanbark and get the most out of life.
LEX 18's High School Sports Zone is brought to you by Paul Miller Ford Mazda, Kentucky's big one.
Good evening and welcome to another award-winning edition of the LEX 18 High School Sports Zone with the man who can use a little dye in his hair, Alan Cutler. I'm Ryan Lemon.
Dwayne, point down. This is a hard-working man. Look at this.
I lost my shoes just a second ago. I got mud on my boots. I had to take them off.
I understand, and he's taller by standing on that.
Once again, it's Woodford County and Tates Creek to the very end again.
The winner makes the playoffs.
The loser goes home.
Time for the LEX 18 Sports Zone Game of the Week. Here's Justin White.
Tates Creek playing without star running back Ty Sparks, who was out with a high ankle sprain. Scoreless game in the second quarter. Tates Creek back to punt, but the snap gets away. Out of the end zone it goes for a safety, and Woodford County takes a 2-0 lead. With time winding down in the half, Creek with a 44-yard field goal attempt, and Brian Williams knocks it through. Tates Creek up 3-2 at the half. Third quarter, someone finally gets into the end zone. Creek's Eric Beatty goes in from 2 yards out. Commodores take a 9-2 lead. But back come the Yellow Jackets. Trenton Fields calls his own number, 9 yards for the score, tied the game at 9. Fourth quarter, Shawnee Lewis back to receive the punt for Woodford County, and Lewis is gone. 50 yards for the touchdown, Woodford County up 16-9. Tates Creek driving with a chance to tie late, but they fumble it on the Woodford County 14-yard line, and the Yellow Jackets win 16-9.
It's great for the kids. It's going to be great for the school. You know, hopefully.
How'd that feel?
Great. It's worth it.
Last year, Woodford County finished 7-3, but missed the playoffs. This year, they also finished 7-3, and they're heading to the playoffs for just the second time in school history. Covering high school football, Justin White, LEX 18 Sports.
That was awesome.
That was
cool. Good for Woodford County.
JFK was in the White House.
And Alan Cutler was in his 20th year of covering the Cats. When was it?
I'm not going to tell you the year. That was the last time Lafayette was perfect during the regular season.
1963.
Thanks, pal.
Scott County wants to get the Generals back for beating them with seconds to go last year.
Yeah, due to the weather, they played at Henry Clay. Pick it up. Fourth quarter. What a game. Logan Bunch says, I'll give it to the little guy. Listed at 156 pounds, he's lying. Look how tough this kid is. Corey Lehman, bouncing, fighting, pushing. That sets up a field goal. Generals lead 17-10. Scott County comes back. Keith Smith, this guy's even smaller. Look at this, 2 hands on the ball, straight ahead. Switches hands with the ball. Down the sideline, 61 yards. What a great run. We're tied at 17, late in regulation. Seconds to go. Andrews in the air to Eric Sanders. 6 points. Touchdown, right? No, he pushed off. The penalty takes it away. We go into overtime. OT, Scott County misses a field goal, and Lehman takes it in from the 1. Lafayette in overtime wins 23-17.
1963 was a long time ago. That's the last time Lafayette finished a regular season undefeated. Corey, congratulations. What does it feel like to score the winning touchdown in overtime?
Oh, man, it feels great. It was all for the program and the coaches. It was hard work all season long. It feels great.
Best feeling of your life?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know big guys like you could get so choked up.
You know, I'm a little emotional because we've got a lot of kids that played with a lot of heart and give us great effort all the time.
You know, we're a ball control offense, and you can't lay it down 3 times on their side of the 50 and expect to win in big games. So, you know, we'll fix that before next week, and we'll be fired up and ready to go next Friday night.
Lexington Catholic at a vastly improved Anderson County, and you need mud tires for this one in the slop. Second half, Lex Cath up big, now even bigger. Quarterback Tyler Hancock hooks up with Daniel Vogelsang. 21-0, Lexington Catholic. We go to the fourth. Catholic cruising, and Grant Plummer, he's gonna slide into the end zone. That's like David Eckstein into second base. Catholic wins 37-0.
Hey, folks, the last time Lincoln County won the district was 1994.
All the Patriots have to do is beat Madison Central.
Larry French has rebuilt Lincoln.
9-1. Madison Central, though, 6-3.
First quarter we go. Braxton Miller, check him out. He says, you know what? I don't care about breaking the tackle. I'm a man. I can do it. 37 yards for the touchdown. Lincoln County goes up 6-0. Second quarter, Miller again, and check him out, 39 yards. This time down to the 5. This little guy uses, what a block right there. Cuts, makes the man miss. Lincoln wins big 41-7.
Hey, Alan, check this out. We dusted off the old LEX-18 Sportszone helmet cam to go up on the hilltop for Harrison County and Franklin County after kicker Evan Dazinski gave us the headbutt. He then went out and booted a 30-yard field goal to give the Thoroughbreds an early 3-0 lead, but Franklin County got hot after that. First, quarterback Kalen Ammons rolls out, throws it up, corner of the end zone for Chris Hogan, touchdown Flyers. Then the Flyers make the big play on defense. Harrison County's Van Isaac gets picked off by Deron Hicks, and Hicks finds a little footing, gets it into the nice return into Thoroughbred territory. That's going to set up the short touchdown run by Ammons. He's going to come right at you, and Franklin County goes on to win it 24-9. Harrison County plays at Lexington Catholic next week in the playoffs.
Hey, Ryan, 4-5 Fairview, a top-seeded LCA, undefeated district action, 7-2 overall. First quarter LCA from the 40. It's Jeremy Barnett taking the Sam Dove pitch, untouched, touchdown, 7-0. Still in the first quarter, more of the same. Duff hands to Barnett. This one a little longer, 51 yards. Nice move there. LCA wins big, 38-0.
Bryan Stacey does not beat Dunbar since their state runner-up team beat the Bulldogs back in 1999. Dunbar still looking for win number 1. A big game for both programs. Tied at 7 at halftime until Matt Metz takes it straight up the middle for the score. That put the Bulldogs up 14-7. Dunbar would score again to make it 21-7, but they weren't done. Off the reverse, it's Metz again. All the way to the house, untouched, put the Bulldogs up by 21. Station, though, would not give up. Patrick Cornett, all 5'5" of him. Power to the little man. Jukes, jives, finds his way to the end zone. But it was the Bulldogs' night as the students finally get to celebrate and rush the field for the first time all season. Dunbar gets win number 1, 34-14.
We finally got one this year. It's obviously we won't go out 1-9, but we won senior night. That's all we were really going for toward the end of the year. Feels great to finally get a win. We all played our hearts out. The young kids played for us, and we finally got one.
There's not a better feeling than just leaving with the win. And next year, these kids hopefully bounce back and get back Dunbar's old swagger. Get it back.
You know, a lot of smiles on the sideline, but yet, in that last huddle, a lot of tears.
Yeah, a lot of tears, and that's what it's all about. If you step in the huddle your last game as a coach, I don't care if you're in the playoffs or you're not in the playoffs, and you see all dry eyes, that's not a good sign. And tonight you see those eyes are full of tears, and they're going to remember this for the rest of their life, and they really will. I told those kids, I don't remember what my high school record was. I don't remember all that stuff, how many yards I rushed for, but I remember my last game. I remember my last game I ever played football in high school, and it's very special.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
David Hensley, Dunbar wins at 34-14. They played 8 undefeated teams in a row, and as he told his team, next year starts tomorrow. Alan, back to you.
Good job. Nice motion. Cardinals win the World Series. Sportszone cameras in Frankfurt as Western Hills and West Jess in the slop first quarter. Wolverines. Comas breaks loose from midfield, breaks some tackles. Western goes up 6-0, and they win 14-zip.
The Garrett County Band, how about showing them a little love, because they're going to begin its march to the state finals tomorrow in Moorhead. They were looking good tonight. Same couldn't be said for the Garrett County football team. Third quarter already 48-zip. Corbin, Ryan Fritz takes the handoff, goes 27 yards for the touchdown to put Corbin up 54-zip, and the Redhounds win at 61-6.
Let's check out Winchester. Clark County Cards trying to sneak into playoffs, hosting South Laurel. Big night for Clint Green. He makes it 7-0, and Clark wins 48-25.
How come Alan Cutler never comes to Bourbon County? Because he is so cute!
Oh, the old Alan Cutler fan club out in full force at Bourbon County. East Jessamine still trying to earn some respect at 7-2. The Colonel's still looking for win number 1. East Jessamine in control. John Jury hauls in the touchdown pass. Quarterback Ryan Hager ran for a touchdown, threw a touchdown pass, returned to kick for a touchdown, scored a touchdown on defense. It was all East Jessamine. They win it 61-6.
And as always, we hope your favorite team won. Coming up, we'll look at the Cats.
Dear Judge Bertelsmann,
the Erpenbeck scandal. Ken Lucas writes a letter on Member of Congress letterhead asking the judge to go easy on his crooked banker friend.
Surely there must have been
The judge sentenced Lucas's crooked banker friend to only 5 years. One defrauded homeowner said, "Big money and power win again." Real people got hurt. And Ken Lucas was sincerely helping a convicted felon.
Sincerely,
the
Ken
National Republican Congressional Committee paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising.
UK Healthcare is at the forefront of providing patients with expert treatment for common heart conditions. And by combining that experience with the region's only cardiac ultrafiltration machine and our state-of-the-art peripheral vascular lab, we're also treating patients who have heart conditions you don't see every day. To learn more about advanced cardiac care at UK Healthcare, contact us today.
And that's not all. This car is hot. A hyper-responsive drive-by-wire throttle system, double wishbone suspension, IV-Tech engine. Nice. A lot of this stuff comes from Honda's racing experience.
Hey, pull over, let me drive. Wait a second. When do I get to drive?
Relax, Joe. You'll get your shot.
It's my car.
Oh, yeah.
The exceptionally engineered Honda Accord.
Lease a Honda Accord for $239 a month for well-qualified customers.
I never met a girl who makes me feel the way that you do. You're all right. Whenever I'm asked to make some of my dreams real, I say that you do. You're out of sight. I'm bringing you a love that's true, so get ready, 'cause here I come. Get ready, 'cause here I come. Get ready, 'cause here I come.
Since becoming sheriff, Kathy Witt has been a leader committed to making Lexington a safer community in which to live. With a 98% conviction rate against sexual predators, Sheriff Witt is committed to holding those accountable that prey on our children. Sheriff Witt has a passion to protect Lexington's senior citizens. Her domestic violence programs have become national models. Sheriff Witt will continue to lead a modern-day sheriff's office. Sheriff Kathy Witt.
I'm Sheriff Kathy Witt. Vote to re-elect me on November 7th.
Respected nationally, effective locally. LEX 18 News is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, moving forward.
It's good to see that the Cats are back in the top 25 in the USA Today ESPN basketball poll. It is Florida, North Carolina, Kansas, Ohio State, Pitt, they're number 5, LSU is 7, Duke 11, Alabama 12, Kentucky 22, and Tennessee 24. More news after this.
The events of 9/11 changed the world forever. Today, Homeland Security is and must remain one of our highest priorities. That's one reason why we must tighten security at U.S. borders. We can never put out the welcome mat to terrorists. We also need to deal with people who've entered the country illegally. Amnesty? No way, not on my watch. I'm Hal Rogers, and I approve of this message.
Daddy, what happens if our house burns up in a fire?
We'll build a new one.
What happens if our house gets blown away in a tornado?
We'll build a new one.
What happens if our house gets smashed by an asteroid?
We'll build a new one then, too.
Daddy, what happens if the asteroid hits you?
Imagine sewage spewing from this manhole cover. Linda Gorton got that fixed.
Linda Gorton cleaned up our park and helped reduce crime in our neighborhood.
Linda Gorton raised private funds to make Lexington dog parks possible.
I'm Linda Gorton. I've worked hard to solve the problems in my district. Let me continue my work for you and all of Fayette County.
Experience, action, leadership. Vote for Linda Gorton for Council at Large.
Get LEX 18 News headlines and your Storm Tracker forecast on your home for the Moo Crew in the morning and Better Country Bull rides all day on Better Country 98.1, The Bull.
At Toyota on Nicholasville, Price sells cars, especially when it comes to used cars. You won't find just hundreds of Toyotas here. Choose from over 300 pre-owned imports and domestics, all makes and models. And they're all priced to move this weekend. Prices marked as low as $39.95. Buy with confidence. Everyone comes with a Carfax report. Low price, big selection, and a free Carfax report.
Toyota Nicholasville, where Price sells cars.
Hi, I'm Jim Keller, candidate for the state Senate. I served nearly 30 years as a judge of the Fayette Circuit Court and as a justice of the Kentucky Supreme Court. I've lived in the 12th District for more than 38 years. I know the district. I know the needs of the people. Who you going to vote for? Well, it's real simple. If you're satisfied with what's happening in Frankfort, then you vote for my opponent. I'm not satisfied, and when elected, I'll make changes. I'm Jim Keller, and I ask you for your vote.
Paid for by James E. Keller for State Senate.
Have a great weekend. We'll all see you Monday.
Have a news tip? Call the LEX-18 News Tip Line, 381-1801, or dial star 1818 on your singular wireless phone.